Well, it's December, so that means a new holiday-themed video. Pretty much obligatory at this point, and I've done it every year and covered a holiday special of some kind. First year I went over some insane ones like the KND Christmas one that was a festive acid trip, as well as Invader Zims and Chowders. Then the next year I did the My Life as a Teenage Robot Christmas special. It was actually one of my least favorite episodes of the show, being so mean-spirited and downright character assassinating at times. Then the Danny Phantom Christmas special, done entirely in rhyme like the episode. Something I really wish more people saw because of all the effort I put into it. But yeah, for this year, I gotta do another Christmas special from a show. And hey, Codename Kids Next Door has been really popular on my channel, making some of my most viewed videos, so why not give them a spotlight again? Now, in the insane world of KND, they can do literally anything for a special. Like, wow, what can they make up?
Alpha Strike! Attack!
What? Yes, for some inexplicable reason, Kids Next Door's Christmas episode is largely a parody of Marvel's X-Men. Why? I have no idea, but it's what we got. Now, it actually isn't too out of the ordinary for this show. This show has done countless parodies of other movies and media, from just the minor to straight up entire episode parodies. Like seriously, you name it. Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Parts of the Caribbean, Jurassic Park, The Matrix. If there was any notable movie series in the early 2000s, it's probably gonna be a parody. So yeah, making a huge parody isn't too out of the ordinary, but like, why a Christmas special? Like, what the hell did these two have in common? Is it because X-Men sounds like Xmas? That's literally it. And it's never actually called that in this show, so that's literally the only link, and it doesn't work well. Apparently, Mr. Warburton was really into the team as a kid, so I guess it makes sense you want to include them, but why here of all places? So this parody in a freaking Christmas special, the only Christmas special in this show, is absolutely bonkers. But hey, that's KND in a nutshell. They make the craziest plots and ideas possible. It's a blast to go through them. So let's see it. Let's see how this insane show manages to fuse the Christmas season and freaking Marvel's X-Men with the adventures of Sector V and the Kids Next Door. It's gonna be an absolutely wild and festive ride, so let's get into Operation Naughty. So it is kind of weird to pick X-Men for an episode parody in general. As I said, they mostly parody movies, not comic series. I mean, they're no stranger. On occasion they do broadly parody the genre sometimes, and even #1 did become the Hulk in a dream sequence. But it's possible that this is due to the X-Men movies that did come out a few years before the episode, and brought the group to a more mainstream light, evident that the characters and plots parody did appear in the two movies before the episode release. The third movie came out the year after the special, but even still they keep some obvious connections to the actual comic, which we'll get to later. It's also not the only time the show parodied the X-Men, though this time not so directly, in Operation Safety, where Senator Safely may be a parody of Senator Kelly, the mutant-hating senator, and his giant robots he uses to force his safe ideals to kids are likely a parody of the Sentinels, the huge mutant-hunting robots in the universe. Why do people allow these things to exist? Seriously, they're like a massive threat to public safety. Now, admittedly, I'm not a huge fan of the X-Men, and I don't have the intrinsic knowledge as an actual fan does. I know a lot about the base stuff like the characters, setup, and some aspects of the universe, and luckily the episode isn't actually too deep in its parody. People with only a base idea of the franchise can understand most of the stuff. I did watch the first two episodes of the original 90s series and the first movie to get a better idea though. Operation Naughty aired the 6th of December in 2005, as I said, ironically just 6 months before the third movie in the X-Men trilogy. It's also a double-length episode spanning the full 22 minutes instead of the 11 minutes we usually get, so they really are dedicated here. We actually start out failing in a comic, getting a narration from Tom Kenny doing basically his crunchy voice from Adventure Time.
The night before Christmas, true believers, and all through Santa's workshop. And instead of a wax idol, they shall have a true princess.
It's actually another reference, as it's supposed to be a Stan Lee homage, as if he's narrating and speaking to the audience, even calling the viewers true believers. Neat touch. Really sad nowadays though. It also kind of reminds me of the Stan Lee narration in the first X-Men pilot, Pride of the X-Men. I wonder if that was a reference.
Stan Lee of Marvel Comics warning you to look around you. Your classmates, your friends, you never know which one of them may be a mutant. This is it, true believers. Unless the X-Men can stop Magneto, mankind is doomed.
It's also in rhyme, but it's only the narrated segments, not the entire thing, as home months of the night before Christmas, so thankfully I don't have to spend another video rhyming again. Starting on the North Pole, of course, with the elves working pretty last minute on presents, though mostly just rainbow monkeys. Man, why is Santa's operation oh so tight in these specials? Where was the pre-planning? It's even a plot point as they work to get everything ready for Christmas in a few hours. Well, at least they're happy about it, seeing on working so like they usually do, this time a remake of the Rainbow Monkey theme song. Well, except for this Hugh Jackman looking one, as the foreman gets mad at him for not being at elf practice or something. This elf is named Wintergreen, and he's not a worker elf, he's here specifically by Santa for protection if anything goes wrong. Honestly, for like in any cartoon show, something always goes wrong and some villain attacks the North Pole to ruin the holiday, might as well take precautions. Speaking of which, they are under attack by Sector V. You know, it seems out of character, but technically these kids are terrorists, and personally go and cause immense property damage and loss of life for their own goals. Like, remember Joe Cuppa and his coffee oil rig? They literally just planned to blow it up to stop the adult flow of coffee. At that point, he's not even a villain, he was just fighting for self-defense. So, you know, Santa could have pissed off these kids any sort of way and they go in guns blazing. Though weirdly, these aren't the usual ketchup and mustard guns, but tranquilizers, as the other elves have seemingly no survival instinct and just happily let themselves be darted. Wonder how they were after. Oh well, just play the teenage robot clip.
Thank goodness we have elf insurance.
I actually wonder if the change in weaponry is also foreshadowing. However, Wintergreen loves a chance to fight, fitting for the parody, but then just gets taken out like a chump. Damn, Santa did not plan this through. Also, you know, it's always weird when like a cartoon will just randomly out of nowhere confirm Santa is real, even when it doesn't feel like it fits, like with Teenage Robot. But weirdly here, Santa existing is like the least unrealistic thing about this universe. Like seriously, there's so much insane shit and random monsters and magic that an immortal toy maker with a legion of elves doesn't seem out of place. Well, okay, at least before the X-Men stuff really comes. Also, curiously, it seems that Santa just has a full high-tech infrastructure under a simple workshop facade. I've really gotta wonder why. Like, if you're gonna do it, why not modernize your manufacturing? But I guess he would put his elf staff out of a job, so I understand. Anyway, in the mysterious chamber, Santa gets darted too, as the kids take the reindeer sleigh bells from him. Ooh, wonder what's going on. But that's not important as we get, hey, look at that, a Christmas overlay, awesome. I love when shows do that. But shame they didn't change the music too, will be fun. Then again, considering the original intro's background was just white, just making it green now isn't the biggest change. Also the obligatory acronym. Oh man, they're gonna undo Halloween? The Fiends! But then we cut to Sector V, framing it just like they got out of the North Pole, with 4 glad to be done with it, showering down on some fries, with 3 happy to get the gift from it. With even 3 saying it was for him and she's really excited for him to open it the next morning. So yeah, one of the biggest things in this episode is the number 3 and 4 shipping content. Now throughout the show they did heavily tease that these two are into each other and are going to start an actual relationship at some point. Hell, interviews confirmed they got married, awesome. Namely kooky, but it always seems that Wallaby doesn't want to get into his feelings, likely for his own insecurities of not being manly enough, which is one of his biggest flaws. But this subplot does take up most of the episode's emotional moments. These two are absolutely adorable together though, and their personalities contrast perfectly. However, the number 3 gave him a gift he really wants to open, he didn't give her a gift, which really makes her mad. 4 tries to of course brush it off, addressing that Santa is supposed to deliver presents, but 3 said that you're still supposed to give gifts to those you care about. You know what, most shows didn't address the whole, if Santa exists then why do people get and give gifts for Christmas? But that actually might justify it. Do wonder what happens if you get the same present from both though. But apparently everyone else also didn't get a gift, which man, come on you guys. I know you're like 10 or 11, but still, especially after calling out 4 for not committing. Poor 3, man, she is the only pure soul on the ship. They tried to change the topic by landing on the treehouse, but there is no treehouse anymore. Jesus Christ, what happened here? This was like a 100,000 ton tree that was also a building. How the hell did someone chop it down and move it out? It would be a bigger deal, but like, technically this has happened numerous times before, namely at the end of the first season when it was destroyed and rebuilt. Even number 1 acknowledges how frustrating it is that it keeps on happening.
Why does everyone always take my treehouse every single time? Who's jumping on the Take Nigel's Pride and Joy bandwagon now?
I'm more concerned by something number 2 says.
Hey, this tree is 560 years old.
Wait, how the hell is it that old? Like seriously, this implies that the tree was here for half a millennia. Did they just build Nigel's house around it? I always thought these trees were made through KND researchers making some ultra omega growth formula to turn these trees huge and big enough to be a massive base of operation. Unless the rings are made from artificial growth. Am I overthinking this? Yes, but it still bothers me. We see this was actually done by Wintergreen, now fairly enough in a much more Wolverine-like outfit. That still looks ridiculous. It is hilarious to consider this dude is still only as tall as a child. Basically gives them an ultimatum. Give the present, which he calls the reindeer, or they'll either take it from them, as number 3 refuses, also acknowledging it is the reindeer somehow. Of course, after he says they took it from Santa, they'll deny it, with Nigel really pissed off at them taking his treehouse. Reveals he's also got a team, Alpha Strike. As far as I know, that's not a reference to anything. Apparently there is a Marvel team called Alpha Strike, but as far as I know, they had nothing to do with the X-Men, so maybe it's just a coincidence. But yeah, now the X-Men stuff really comes out, as the rest of the first half of the special is just a huge fight scene. Starting out by literally blowing up their ship by chucking it at them, Jesus. Better watch out or Santa will send his goddamn death squad after you. Most of the group practically splits up after this, with Wintergreen after Nigel, disarming him and fighting Mono-E-Mon until they continue the Wolverine parody to give him peppermint claws. Well, instead of adamantium in his skeleton, it's peppermintium. Assuming it's basically the same thing, having a delicious skeleton feels wrong. We also see the other members of his team, starting with Nutcracker, who is a parody of Nightcrawler. Gotta admit, that's an amazing pun. He has his teleportation ability plus a powerful wooden jaw. Apparently he's still an elf somehow. That feels really wrong. I also love how he has a German accent, which works super well, not only since Nightcrawler is German and speaks in a German accent, but also that Nutcrackers are historically from Germany. Like, good lord, everything went together for this parody, it's amazing. Then the next member, Snow Angel, who's a parody of Storm and also fused with Angel, and a bit of Iceman there. She has the power of flight and also snow manipulation, pretty much exactly like Storm, just more Christmassy. Also, kind of obviously also voiced by Cree Summers, so it's a good thing she and number 5 don't have a conversation with each other. And lastly, Carnivorous, who's a parody of the X-Men Colossus. Unlike Colossus, he doesn't have the ability to grow a coat of metal, but instead grows a coat of thick pine needles. And it's also shown to have a level of super strength. Also appreciate how he has a Russian accent too, nice detail. Honestly, these parodies actually kind of work and are done really well in the theme, making them not only fitting parodies, but also kind of fitting in universe. You kind of want more, like what other Christmas themed X-Men parodies can you possibly make? Can you make a Rudolph parody with Cyclops instead of making him shoot lasers from his red nose instead of his eyes? I mean, I guess you can do it pretty easily with Iceman, just make him Snowman, but then again, Snow Angel already kind of covers it, so it'd be kind of redundant. There's so many possibilities, legit tell me if you can think of any more Christmas X-Men parodies. I'm being dead serious, please try to come up with more parodies and comment down below. I really want to see what people come up with, go nuts. However, hell hath no fury like a kooky scorned, as she just goes absolutely ballistic on the Alpha Strike team to get her present back. It's kind of incredible that she is potentially the most powerful member of the team in the right circumstance.
Does anyone else want to try and take my present?
Genuinely, this girl is ruthless. No wonder she was next in line to be the goddamn Grim Reaper.
Can now also reap the immortal souls of grown-ups, collecting my dark harvest with a cold iron blade. Yeah, that'll be fun.
To stop them before Christmas, Wintergreen uses the ultimate finishing move, the 12 Days of Christmas, which literally is just dropping all the things from the song on Kooky, no doubt crushing her to death. Jesus Christ. Santa's hit squad is ruthless.
You better watch out.
4 calling birds, 3 French horns, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree!
By the way, the joke with the partridge in a pear tree is that it's actually Danny Partridge from the sitcom The Partridge Family. Did any kid get that reference? She somehow survives that, but Wintergreen is free to take the gift, and she denies she stole it, but bought it for number 4. Opening it and revealing it isn't what they thought, but a special Christmas reindeer rainbow monkey. Hilariously, number 4 is pissed off at that.
You got me a cruddy rainbow monkey?
Well, it's more than you got her.
But they know it's a special limited edition monkey only available at one store on Christmas, and they spend the last few hours waiting in line for it, so they clearly couldn't have been the one who attacked Santa. Revealing it wasn't the real KND, as we cut back to the North Pole, revealing obviously it was the Delightful Children, their arch nemesis, disguised them to incriminate them for the act. Wait, was David wearing blackface? What the hell? Okay, so I'm confused about the timeline. So the Delightful Children attacked the North Pole as the KND to throw off suspicion and knocked out Wintergreen. But presumably he woke up early and got the rest of the Alpha Strike team, but they didn't go after the children literally in the workshop, but instead went preemptively to Sector V's base and chopped down the tree to ambush them on their way back? That's really weird, but who cares? Not like the plot in this show really matters. But this leads to the second part of the episode. So we continue with Santa being held hostage by the children as he recognizes them and calls them naughty children, and they've repeatedly gotten cold year after year. But actually, think about this. I've gone over multiple times times how the KND world is a class dystopia, with children seen as exploitable and subhuman, who deserve any sort of rights and can be literally hurt, imprisoned, enslaved, even presumably killed, with absolutely no repercussion, and allowed and enabled by the government purely by annoying them. And any kid that resists, or even just annoys the adults in power, are seen as targets and get eliminated or punished by the system. Like legitimately, it's hell on earth.
We're trying to make some fun laws that make life miserable for kids, not laws that protect them. Cares about safety. I just like watching those miserable kids run around like monkeys with their butts on fire. Safety schmafety. Just keep the brats out of our hair, would you?
But Santa is one of the few adults in power that actively seem to respect children and has any sort of reasonable sense of justice and morality to them. And they actually see the delightful children as naughty for their many crimes and heinous actions against their fellow kids, instead of enabling them because they're so polite and well-mannered to other adults.
We're going to be good little children instead of evil, conniving brats.
We are good children!
Like, really think about it, it's a freaking miracle. Santa is literally the only adult I can think of in a position of power that actually treats kids fairly. I guess it would be weird if Santa Claus himself doesn't. I mean, like, he's supposed to care about kids and get them presents and stuff. But in this world, I mean, there is no holding back. Let me remind you, Sector V's elementary school is run by Nazi parodies who put their children in manual labor to mine salad oil for them, and tried to convince other districts to do the same in an I Hate Kids conference. This world is f***ed up. I do actually kind of wonder the morality scale about the KND themselves, because as I said, though they fight for children's right and against adult tyranny, they are prone to horrible crimes, acts of terrorism, even accidental atrocities. They ain't pure either. Though the delightful children do think themselves as good children, and much better than every other brat in the world, and did this whole thing to prove it by sabotaging Santa's operation by getting all the presents in the world while everyone else gets coal. Seems extreme, but then again, these guys are legitimately the most spiteful characters in the show. They tried to destroy the fountain of youth, fundamentally depriving mankind of immortality just so that no kid can avoid adulthood ever again. Still not as dumb as a reason as the Spanish from Pirates of the Caribbean 4. Also, not to mention the annual caked episodes, all having to do with holding numerous kids hostage just so that they can eat the delicious cakes and force them to watch. Like, genuinely, what do you gain out of this? Plus, also being the reason why number 1 was made bald in the first place. And no, it wasn't because he was in the KND. This happened before he officially joined. They did this out of pure sadism. So yeah, this is entirely within character. But how are they gonna do it? Why? With the reindeer. Yeah, it's not his actual team of magical reindeer, but apparently Santa stopped using the reindeer and instead made a massive, high-technical device, archiving all the children in the world and monitoring them, and allows them to literally teleport their presents or coal to their house. It really isn't until now you realize how much of a massive invasion of privacy this all is. Also, so what? Santa doesn't automate his toy making, but he does his delivery? What happened to his reindeer? Did he take them out? Jesus Christ. There's no reindeer scene in this show. It might have happened. So this is actually another massive reference to the X-Men franchise, as the reindeer is a reference to Cerebro, the giant machine Professor X uses that amplifies telepathic powers exponentially and allows them to be able to sense and monitor mutants all over the globe, which is a recurring thing in the franchise and has been an important element in many stories, namely the second X-Men movie, now reframed as Santa's main method to monitor children and deliver presents. Honestly, not a bad use of the parody. Again, it kind of works in universe, you wouldn't think twice. I knew nothing about the X-Men as a kid, and I still didn't think it was off. However, Santa warns that only he can handle the power of using the reindeer. So this is likely implying what I said before, that it's supposed to amplify a telepath's abilities, and when only he can use it, probably with the whole he knows when you've been bad or good thing. So wait, does that mean that Santa is supposed to be our Charles Xavier of the special? Like really, Santa is goddamn Professor X. He leads the X-Men, owns Cerebro, and has telepathic abilities. I can't believe it. Why the hell are we stopping here? We can go even further. Where's Crampedo in the Brotherhood of Naughty Children? I want to see that. Santa warns the machine is too powerful for their minds as the children pull a Star Wars on him and kick him into the pit, then start using the device to teleport all the presents across the world to their mansion and leaving all the kids cold. Hey, wait, I thought that the reason why they needed the reindeer back was because Santa needed to make the delivery before Christmas ended. If the presents are already in the houses, then like, why is a time crunch a problem? This is kind of a big plot hole if you think about it. But yeah, they enact their plan in putting every other kid on the naughty list and getting all the presents themselves. That is, until they're stopped by Alpha Strike with Sector V. Hell yeah, the team up we've always wanted. I do wonder if Warburton was really happy to have his OCs team up with a parody of one of his favorite hero teams. But I do kind of wonder how they got there. Like, the tree is gone, the shuttle got destroyed in the fight. Does Alpha Strike have their own X-Jet or something? probably. Also a pretty sweet entrance, guys. But the children say they need to teach them a lesson. Literally, as they're not alone, as they brought a villain, the substitute teacher, Edna Education, who also might be a reference to Olive Oil from Popeye for some reason. Like, really, she really has all the same design, even the voice too.
That is exactly what I'm talking about! Settle this like they did in King Arthur's day. Just for their fair lady's hand.
Now, when I first saw this special, I really thought Edna was a previously established character, like her appearance is so out of place. I was sure that she must have been the antagonist in the previous school episode I must have missed, but surprisingly not. Huh. You know, it's weird this show doesn't have some overt teacher villain considering how much teachers can be a big problem in kids' lives. She would fit in, but no, she only appears in this episode. It's so strange. Edna's working with the delightful children and helps them in hopes to destroy Christmas. That way Substitute Teacher Day, which isn't actually a real day, will become the most important holiday.
What about Groundhog Day?
Or the 4th of August?
I love Flag Day.
But she's not the main threat, as she brought her own team of holiday villains, which is another Marvel parody, this time with the Fantastic Four, now as the Faculty Four. Ironically, this came out the same year as the older Fantastic Four movie. I wonder if this was intentional. First off, the Saurus Rex, amazing pun, like seriously, who is a parody of The Thing, being a huge dinosaur not made out of rocks, but out of books. The unintelligible tutor, who is a parody of the Invisible Woman, but seemingly doesn't share her power, just give people massive confusion in her lectures. Well, I guess we do see her use her blackboard as a shield, so maybe? Then the Human Text, who's a parody of the Human Torch, who's made out of paper and can fly around and shoot paper and seemingly regenerate, which isn't a torch power. I guess if you set him on fire, he'd be pretty accurate. And lastly, Mr. Physically Fantastic, obviously a reference to Mr. Fantastic, and seemingly so fit he can stretch out his limbs to attack people. Can I also say that I appreciate how their masks look like books? Fun fact, according to the Warburton blog, the Faculty Four were originally the Secretarial Six, probably in reference to the Sinister Six from Spider-Man, and were gonna be secretaries until CN changed them to be school-based, since kids will be more familiar, and honestly good call. So yeah, not only is there a Christmas X-Men parody, but also a school-based Fantastic Four parody. Like, what the hell is going on in this episode? I'm serious. What's next is there gonna be an Avengers parody, but they're all based off of vegetables and call them the Veggies? Wait, Sesame Street already did that.
Soon, a Veggies Age of Bonbon.
So, you guys want to go get veggie shawarma?
This is actually kind of awesome. I wish this had an extended fight scene, but Alpha Strike deals with the new villains and does the candy to stop the delightful children before they destroy Christmas permanently. As the delightful children successfully deprive all the children of the world of their presents, the KND burst in to stop them, only to see them beg for help as they suddenly turn to Lima Bean people. What? So Santa was right and anyone else uses the reindeer turns into Oscar the Grouch here. Apparently from the official art they're known as being Grinched, so I guess that's another reference with the green skin and yellow eyes, looking like the Chuck Jones version of the character. Still pretty random, but hey, this episode is all about random unexplained references. You fit right in. Speaking of which, Alpha Strike does successfully take down the Four, leading Edna to be defenseless.
Oh, don't make me call the Arbor Day Avengers for backup!
Okay, wait, so there is a holiday-based Avengers parody in universe? Jesus Christ, how many are there in this universe? This needs to be elaborated on. How many guys exist? Are there the Guardians of Boxing Day or the opposite day Eternals? So yeah, the day is saved, all the villains are defeated, and Christmas is rescued from being ruined. Great job, now we can end. Why is it still like 4 minutes? The reason why is that number 3 actually stayed behind in the reindeer system and takes the reins herself. Now corrupted by the promise of presents after her friends and crush continually denied her gifts on Christmas, now she's going to take the chance to get all the presents herself. Yeah, there's like a random bonus climax, it's really damn weird. A real here we go again type of thing.
I deserve something for being the only one to think of others! I deserve everything!
Seriously, my god, do not push this girl. So yeah, here comes the subplot from before and the actual emotional core of the episode aside the Marvel parody. As number 4 is horrified and wants to save her, even calling her kooky. But then Santa comes in looking to survive being yeeted off the platform like a Smash Bros stage. Granted, he does show that he means business by just freaking ripping the steel panel of the chamber with his bare hands, goddamn. Like seriously, not even Wintergreen and the candy could break through that. They had to go around and break the ceiling. Santa really does mean business here. Santa says that Wallaby is the only one who could stop them. He has one of my favorite lines of the episode.
Sure, there's not another way?
Do you think I'd be sending you in there if there was another way, kid?
I actually love this. It's like the perfect for those "you're the only one who can stop them" moments. And it's actually intense. The mood and lighting really do the heavy lifting. It's kind of jarring to go from goofy parody to like legitimately threatening atmosphere.
Number 3? Kooky?
Also, is this like a reference to the Dark Phoenix, maybe? With no choice, he's forced to give her a gift to calm her down. She's shocked that he got her a present when he never had before, which momentarily brings her out of her state.
You got me! French fries!
Oh, god damn it, Wallaby. Leading to... Yeah, of course she loves it anyway. I mean, this is still kooky and she adores anything he'd give them. Though remarking that it's the only gift he's ever given her. They are adorable though, look at them. But Santa has to hurry up and make the deliveries in 5 minutes to fix all the problems. I mean, with the Cerebro thing, you can do it in like 5 seconds, not that big of a deal. Apparently though, he underhandedly says that they might not even get presents, which, you know, is kind of a lot after using our goddamn death squad to kill them after misunderstanding. But as I said, maybe it's because of all their other questionable actions, so I can't say it's not undeserved. Cookie though apologizes for her actions and Santa accepts it, but not without...
Santa, get your own fries!
Oh, come on, just one.
Damn, you really pulled the...
Only wanted fries, so precious.
Meanwhile, number 1 and Wintergreen make amends for the misunderstanding, which is nice, with Nigel asking what the heck did they even do with the treehouse.
Don't worry, we put it to good use.
Rainbow Christmas, oh so very wide.
Funny ending, but like, that tree is probably dead, right? I mean, technically it was already destroyed, but again now. Man, being a tree in the KND universe must be another hell, let me tell you. Now, the episode technically ends there, but KND loves to put in these bonus and credit stuff, where we see number 3 put away the fries in the little spot on her desk, just as number 4 comes in to eat the rest and take it.
Wow, what an asshole.
So yeah, that was Codename Kids Next Door's one and only Christmas special. And wow, okay, what an insane ride. Like, it's less of an actual Christmas special and more of an over-the-top Marvel parody to the point we forget it's about Christmas half the time. It also doesn't have too much of an emotional core, which is weird as Christmas specials are usually done meant to have a big emotional core for the holiday, but this one really doesn't. Like, it has a bit with the number 3 and number 4 stuff, which is adorable, but it only had like about 2 minutes of overall screen time. So like, this should make it a bad Christmas special. But honestly, I can't say that. This episode was such a massive blast. Like, I'm not kidding, this is one of the most over-the-top insane Christmas specials I've ever seen that really moves along at a super fast pace. Like seriously, it doesn't feel like a half-hour special, it feels so quick, it's amazing. I have never seen like any special ever just combine the most over-the-top superhero parody with Christmas and then just go completely all out on it. And the weird thing is, like, it actually works. Like, really, for some reason, the way they handled it and combined it managed to work practically perfectly. I guess it helps that it's in Kids Next Door, which, as I said at the start, it's just an over-the-top goofy show in a world you're never supposed to question in basically every episode. So, like, them just randomly making their Christmas special an X-Men parody and largely Marvel Universe parody, it really doesn't feel so weird. I actually grew to really like Elvis Strike despite how weird they are, and I kinda wish they showed up again. I mean, yeah, I know they're exclusively Christmas characters, and this is the only Christmas special, but I don't know, they can get a cameo in Operation Interviews or something. But again, it like perfectly made it campy and over the top and yet still straightforward in its use and application that it really works both ways. Like, as a kid I didn't know who these guys were based off of, but I didn't question it. But now as an adult, I understand the references all around and appreciate how naturally and funny they were all implemented. Like, these characters work as a parody and something original in the world without feeling off-putting. It's actually a harder balance to do than you think. Like, compare it to Ben 10's absolutely bonkers Christmas special. It's so inane and wacky to the point that it legitimately doesn't fit into the universe it's set up, with how much of it is never explained. There's an unexplained Christmas curse with a time warp, kids turning into elves, the goddamn Jingulator. Absolutely nothing is explained nor makes sense. Hell, as I talked to my first video, it feels more like a KND episode than a Ben 10 one.
Alright everyone, Mr. Jingles has turned his amusement park into a hive mind of holiday horror. We need to break our way in through the defenses, rescue the kidnapped kids turned to elves by the adults, and shut down the Jingulator before it turns every kid in the world into its festive slaves. Kids Next Door, battle stations!
It is such an over-the-top, enjoyable Christmas episode that frankly fits perfectly in KND. Again, it's such a freaking fun ride. I do think it needs a stronger emotional core for a Christmas special. It does have it mostly in number 3 and 4 stuff, and it is adorable, I love it. But it just, I don't know, needed a bit of spirit of Christmas in it. In fact, when it does, it kind of treats it like a joke, even if it completely fits for both of the characters. Like, I wish there was more of a legit spirit of Christmas in it to give you that warm feeling for the holidays, which is one reason why I kind of have a bit of trouble to recommend it. And yeah, my might not be a conventional Christmas special by any means, but man, it is a super fun, over-the-top time. Like, if you want to see a KND style Christmas special and also X-Men parody, yeah, you're not gonna get a better one than this one. Give it a look this year, it is such a good time. And yeah, that's KND for you. It's silly, it's stupid, it's over the top, but goddamn is it fun as hell. Perfect for a show all about childhood, and this is another great example of it. So how else to end this video? But by Tom Kenny playing Stan Lee, giving out his iconic lines.
Merry Christmas, true believers, and to all a good night.
Oh, silver and gold and red.
Why did you eat my fries? I bought them, they were mine. But you ate them, you ate my fries. And I cried, but you didn't see me cry. Do you even love me? Well, I wish you would show it.